Shut up.
What is happening, friends of CCP Podcasting? Welcome back to Beyond the Bell Live. I am Chris Page, and yes, we are back to back. It's a double shot Friday here. I hope you guys are having a fantastic start to your weekend. Let me tell you this: we had a lot of you folks that piled in earlier, and I know some of you guys are going to be back here for the Tonight Show, if you will. Before we get started and we bring in our guest. Guys, if you're watching us over on replay, you guys are aware that Legends Rise went down this past weekend. If you're here with us live, it goes down in a week or so. We are on the road, April the 25th. It is going to go down in Orlando, Florida. It is happening. It is our Chapter 4, Legends Rise. 8 men, 1 night, 1 tournament, 1 championship. We're going to make history in Castleberry as we crown our first heavyweight champion. But as I broke earlier today, our first official match announcement for Legends Rise on the 25th, the Establishment Wrestling, they are back with us in a partnership that will see the Anti-Establishment Championship on the line as Elias AK-47 Roman is going to take on none other than Noah Vale, and that is going to be a biggie on what is already shaping up to be an impressive night for us. Tickets are already on sale for this, guys, at ccppodcasting.com, and we are definitely ahead of pre-sales for any other event that we have had in Orlando. We look forward to having you guys there with us as we're going to make history. We know that Matthew Ennis is a part of our tournament. We know that Kid Kuda is a part of our tournament. Slade Porter is a part of our tournament. Skrilla the Great, Dallas Dash. I'm telling you, it's gonna be wild. It's gonna be wild. I encourage you guys to be there and take part in this event with us as we are looking to extend our collaboration into the world of independent wrestling, because we believe that if we work together, that we can build a better platform and a better space for everybody out there that's busting their ass to give us something to watch each and every day and or week. This is gonna be a fun one. Guys, let's get into why we are here this evening. Our guest tonight, I got a DM. I'm not gonna lie. I got a DM that wanted to try and get on a live event with us. And as we're in the midst of conversations about doing some of this stuff, I say, listen, the truth of the matter is I think we booked out the first 3 or 4 chapters of our live events because I didn't know and still don't know if it's going to work or if it's not going to work. And the last thing I want to do is drag people into something that may not go the distance like I hope that it does, because it's still to be determined. That does not mean that I don't want to get our gentleman in here today to sit down and chat and talk and get to know and learn a little bit more about him, and also introduce him to each and every one of you in the process. Our guest, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to Beyond the Bell Live, Mr. Dono Hefner. How are you, sir? Welcome to the show, and it's fantastic to meet you, sir.
What's up, man? How you doing?
It's a Friday, and it's a weekend as we're actually recording this live. I am 72 hours away from having to hop on a flight to Los Angeles to do our Chapter 3 event, and then we're full steam ahead to Chapter 4. It's incredible to see how shit just grows, and it just continues to blossom, and really it's really because of all of you guys that draw us in on a weekly basis. But it's a wild ride, man. How are you on this weekend?
So what you're saying is you're doing great.
I'm doing the best I can with what I got. It's one of those things. I try and keep things very positive, but I am definitely doing great. We're on the cusp, man. And truthfully, when I get hit up by guys just like you, right? Like that, hey, what is there opportunity here? What is there something that we can do? Is there something that I can do? I appreciate that, because it shows me that you're interested, and it shows me that you are more serious about trying to branch out there and make a name for yourself, which is exactly why I said, hey man, let me get you on a podcast. It may be a minute before I can get you on a live event, but let's sit down and let's talk. Let's introduce ourselves. Let's figure you out. Let's have you figure me out, and then we'll kind of go from there. But I do admire and I appreciate the fact that you hit me up and we're like, we need to see what we can do. And that's exactly what we're going to do. And it starts with this conversation right here today. And where I start is not where are you wrestling at? What are you doing now? It's always about fandom. It's about where did you get Drew? Excuse me. I can try to fucking talk. How did you
Oh, we're
get drawn in?
nervous.
No, I'm not saying nervous, bro. It's just kind of like I have ADHD and my mind runs so fucking
Mhm.
fast. And there's so much that I do want to talk about and I want to make sure that we get to. And then I do fumble
Right.
because it's always either how did you fall in love with wrestling or what drew you in and I fumbled. Yeah, yes, I fumbled. I guess we can say I'm nervous.
I do, I do see what you mean. And to answer your question, this goes way back, like 2014, 2015. Um, I fell in love with wrestling because the way I saw these larger than life characters on TV and how they would have people like emotionally connected with them, right? Like they would have you feel like you're not just watching them do these cool moves, these cool flips. They would have you have like this feeling. So I was like, as the years progressed and went on, I was like, you know what? Like maybe I want to give this a shot. Maybe I want to be that person on TV that can have that same connection with people watching it. So,
Who were some of those characters that drew you in?
oof. Well, yeah, of course, you gotta have John Cena up there. Um, Roman, the same guys you see on TV now, like Seth Rollins, Roman, of course John Cena, but he just retired. Just those popular guys.
See,
There's a reason why they're up there on the card.
I used to say I can't see Cena. And then he
Right.
started following on social media, and I have no choice. I have to see him. It's just one of those weird things. And what's cool about that too is so many of you guys that I get to come in. Cena is kind of one of those cats that draws you in initially, and I can totally see why. I came up in the '80s and into the '90s. I was a kid in the late '80s and really fell into wrestling early '90s. And for me, it was kind of like, I was kind of drawn in by The Undertaker as an example. He was the last wrestler that scared the shit out of me as a child. And you just kind of
Right.
resonate with them. So when you came in with Cena, it's one of those drawing powers, if you will. And it kind of makes me want to ask you with him just winding his career down. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. With you coming in, as a Cena fan and seeing him throughout his entire run, what did it mean to you when he decided to hang it up in December?
Um, to be quite honest with you, I was there actually.
Whoa, shit.
I
Okay.
didn't. Yeah, I didn't know really what to feel because, like, how like some things in this business you just don't know. You don't know if it's real or not until So just like at the same time, it was like, there's never say never, and then it's just like, okay, like he's just stepping away for a little bit. He might come back. So it's just one of those things where you just gotta let it play off, and you just never really know. So
Well, I know that there was a lot of shit about his tap out, and to be fair, I think he went out the way he wanted to go, and
I think I think that was the most perfect way for him to
well,
retire.
reality is this: like, all right, Cena gave 2 decades plus,
Right.
right? You know what I'm saying? So, like, who is anybody to tell this man that this, or to not appreciate how this guy wants to go out. You don't think that wasn't his call? You don't think that wasn't his decision? You don't think
A
that
hundred
you know
percent.
what I'm saying? So it's like
Yeah.
he did what he wanted to do. He entertained us for 2 decades, and he had a hell of a match and put over a dude on the way out. And that's what this is all about in the name of the game. So I'm
Right.
always when I hear people say that like Cena and some of these cats that are now prominent and really in the mainstream now drew you in, I always want to ask that because everyone has a different perception and opinion on it. Some guys are upset that Cena hung it up. Some are happy that he did and how he did it. So it's just real interesting for me just to pick your brain on that. And when
Right.
you get drawn in at that early age, when do you really start thinking about all right, from fandom, I think I want to try and do this. And the process of you navigating the waters of even trying to get into a training facility.
I feel like early on, obviously, I didn't have like a good understanding of it. It was just something I just seen on TV weekly and thought it was cool or whatever. I feel like when I grew into high school, that's when I really started to understand, like, okay, like this is an actual business. It's not just like a circus. These guys doing flips every week and all of this stuff. So I was just like, well, it started off in freshman year. I tried amateur wrestling, but I got cut off the team because my grades were bad. And I realized that that wasn't what I saw on TV. There's, because there's a difference, amateur and professional.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, you know what? As soon as I graduate high school, I'm gonna search up for the best school out there, and I'm just gonna go for it. So I like to think like if you overthink stuff or if you just second guess yourself, you're just never gonna get to it. So you just gotta jump right into it, and that's
Dude,
what I did.
you just took me back to my childhood and didn't even realize it. When initially had told my dad that I wanted to be a pro wrestler. Of course, what kid didn't at that point, right? I was like
Right.
8 or 9 years old. Uh, I did not know, unbeknownst to me, the high
I
school.
feel like that's just a social experiment. If you never wanted to be a wrestler, you can't be a real human.
Your facts, right? Uh, unbeknownst to me, the high school wrestling coach was my neighbor at that point in time, and I didn't, of course, I'm a kid, didn't know. He's like, okay, if you still want to do this when you get to high school, sign up for the wrestling team, and legitimately did, and did not make it. Did not make it on the team at all. It was not because again, I'm in my head. I'm same concept. This is not what I see on TV. This is not it at all. And I waited till I was like 17 when I got started. But
Right.
when you find that best school, where did you land?
I landed at Cody Rhodes' Nightmare Factory.
I read up on that. I wanted to see, like, I wanted to make sure that that was the first place that you went to because I've
Yep.
had a couple cats on from the Nightmare Factory. So, when you say you're looking at one of the best places, I mean, buddy, it doesn't get any better than the Nightmare Factory. That's right outside of Atlanta or in Atlanta, isn't it?
Yeah, it's in Atlanta.
Okay. When
And
you go ahead.
you know what's funny? As soon as this happened, like right after WrestleMania 40, after he won the championship, I just immediately because I had heard he had his own school, but I didn't really know.
Right.
So I did research and all that. So I was like, okay, he's the WWE champion. What better school out there is there than to go to his school? And I kid you not, I thought as soon as I would be in there, like I would just immediately make it, like I would get all these opportunities and stuff like that. Because I didn't really know about this whole. Well, I did know about the indies, but I didn't really know about the whole gig or whatever.
Well, it's a learning experience. It is, and
Oh, yeah,
excuse me, you're still very very young. So every
yeah,
every every bit of knowledge right now is a bonus. I mean, I could attest to thinking that immediately. Oh, it's just a matter of time. I'm going to get picked up, or this is going to happen for me. It's an
right,
education. Like getting out there, like it's one thing. It's what a lot of guys and girls out there don't really understand. Like it's one thing to find a training school. It's something totally different to get out here and get yourself booked. Like, I mean, you can't really rely on other people. You have to rely on yourself. And that's one reason why I can say I do admire the fact that you DM me. I get DM'd a lot over the live events and what can I do to get a part
right,
of it. But with me, it's all about the approach and it's about how I'm approached. And then if I answer a question, what's the response like? Because some people can get upset and some people can be much like yourself. Okay, well, let me see what we can work out if this isn't available on this date. What can we do? It's not, it's not an annoying thing. It's legitimately you trying to get your foot in the door somewhere. And I
right,
appreciate that. And I think that that is a big piece of what people don't understand because while there are, I said it earlier today, there are hundreds of thousands of people who are in professional wrestling all over the world. Hundreds of thousands. And in a pond that fucking big, you have to find a way to stand out. You have to. Whether it
yeah,
be on the back end trying to get bookings, whether it be in front of the camera, whether it be you have to do something to get your name out there. And I say that, again, that's a little bit of a mini rant. I get one full rant to show. I haven't used it just yet. But that's a little
right,
piece of it because I do think that that's it's an interesting facet. Now, when you get into the Nightmare Factory, of course, you in your head, this is going to happen quick. It's going to happen right now. Boom, 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 boom. Reality starts to set in. There's a lot more that goes on in this than just showing up, getting trained, and okay, you're off to the races. Let's talk a little bit about the learning curve, if you will. What were some of the misconceptions that you had coming in that you cleared up, and now you can see that this. All right, now we got to go to work here.
So at the Nightmare Factory, there was three coaches when I was there. Obviously, Cody being one. QT Marshall, there was Billy Gunn. Time to time, there was Glacier. But I feel like very early on, they made it quite clear that nothing's going to be handed to you, right? You got to work for it. You got to earn your spot as I may. And, it's just a process. Nothing is guaranteed or nothing is promised. You got to work for what you want. So I feel like everybody in the camp, in the class, understood that very quickly. So after that, it's just straight to work.
Well, when you get into the training aspect of it, what were some things that came naturally to you?
Um, I want to say the confidence in the ring, like all the move sets and then all that stuff. I feel like I caught on to that very quick.
Well, on the backside of that question, what was something that you had to hone in on? What's something that took a little bit of work?
Oof, the character part, the personality part, the personality.
That's the funnest part for me because you can make so many fucking mistakes and it doesn't matter because once you land on something that hits and you know it hits, then you are straight. What were some of your
I
biggest
feel like
failures?
my biggest failures is the
As
personality part.
well, shit that you tried. All right, so let me give you an example. Here's back in again my day. I trained in '99. I debuted in '99. I started as a at what I thought was like the coolest gimmick. Right? It was the Zen master, but instead of it being Zen like the Buddhist and centered, it was Zin, and I thrived on chaos. That was the gimmick. I thought it was the coolest
Right,
motherfucking thing until about a year plus into the run, and my guys that I'm traveling with finally break the news to me that they've just been ribbing me that this character sucks. And it's literally the worst thing that they've ever seen in their lives. And they're allowing me to think that it was the best thing ever, but it was terrible. So that was just one of those things where I took that aspect of, oh wow, this is fucking ridiculous. And I shifted it into what became Chronic Chris Page, which was the moniker that I used that actually drew something in the South when I was in the ring. So
right.
in situations like that, when you say character, did you start with a character that didn't click? And if you did, like, at what point did you throw the towel in on this and say, all right, I got to go back to the drawing board?
I want to say no. Actually, it's funny because the only character I have now is the only one I've ever had.
Yeah.
It just took time. It just took time for people to understand what's really going on or who I really am or what it really is. And yeah, it's the only thing I've ever done. I've never had a different character.
Well, let's talk about the presentation a little bit. When you start putting together what we see wherever you consume, guys, if you're on YouTube, et cetera, et cetera. What's that presentation look like for you when you start really putting together before you initially start getting to this debut?
Well, and wherever, I'm pretty sure wherever anyone trains, actually, they tell you to take like bits and pieces of your favorite wrestlers and come up with your own, right? So that's exactly what I did. I took bits and pieces to like my favorite people to watch, and I just created one big persona, and that's what I did. That's what I am.
How long were you working at training before they give you a debut?
So their camps are 3 months,
Okay.
and right after the 3 months are up, they give you like um, what am I trying to say?
A showcase show.
Like a mark, yeah, showcase show, a showcase match to show what you've learned and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a 3 month camp, and then right after the 3 months are up, they give you that.
So what were you thinking when you get your showcase match? Were you excited? What was going through your head? How did that
It's
go?
actually it's actually so funny because that's like the only time that I've just been so nervous, like damn near shitting myself. And it's hilarious because it wasn't like real like fans. It was like your friends and family and stuff like that. And then I remember Billy Gunn came into the room. He was like, "What are you guys so nervous about? It's just your family out there." And I was just like, "You know what? You're right. If you fuck up, they know, because you haven't been doing this for a long time, so they really know what you're doing. You're just showing what you've learned." So
Well, mentality is everything, but you also have to start building confidence too. Like
No, yeah, for
it's
sure.
one of those. That's literally one of those situations where it's you go out here, and this is what I love about professional wrestling because you can try anything, and if it
Right.
doesn't work, you just don't do it again, and you shift and you find something that does work, and you have this opportunity really at every turn in front of every audience to try something different, and it's just because again, you never know what's going to hit or when it's going to hit. When you get this debut, and again, this is where confidence starts building. I would think because at least it did for
Right.
me when I got in the ring. It's one thing to be in front of your training class. I think ours started with 13 people, but and we ended with three. But it's something totally different to be in front of an audience, regardless if it's family, friends, et cetera, because at least from my perspective, nerves that
Hmm.
you don't want to fuck up, you don't want to mess up, but you don't want to do any of that. And I dig the fact that Billy Gunn was right there to say, guys, it's just your family. But on
Well,
your side, I see it like, God, this has got to be right. This is what we've been investing in. I need to see, and I need for them to see that this is not in vain, and that this is like a real fucking thing and can really happen. Which
right.
kind of takes me to, the next little evolution, if you will. You get through this training period and to learn from the minds that you were able to learn from. How have you been able to put some of that into practice, and how did you come about getting your first booking outside of the training facility, outside of the Nightmare Factory, and your career start to take off? What does that start looking like for you?
Oh, you're. Can you repeat that? You were cutting out at the end a little bit.
Oh, okay. So after you get out of training and you start heading out on the indies, what does that look
Right.
like for you in Georgia? Or were you branching out immediately? Or how did that? What does that process look like for you?
Oh, okay, so actually, right after the 3 month camp, I'm not originally from Georgia,
Hmm.
so I came back home, and I actually took a look at like a little 4 month or 5 month break because I had rehearsed. So 2 days before the showcase, I had rehearsed a moonsault, and I landed wrong. Like instead of landing flat, I landed like at an angle.
Mm.
So like when I landed, I like ricocheted and I messed up my back.
Oof.
And I mean, I still performed like that, just a couple painkillers and just went out there. But after the adrenaline rushed off, I was just like in so much pain. I just couldn't walk. I could barely stand up. So I was like, shit, like this is like probably a career-ending injury. I don't even know. I went to do so much X-rays and all this stuff, and of course the doctors told me nothing's wrong, like you're fine, all this stuff. But yeah, I took a pretty decent break. And then during that time, I just reached out to people. I just reached out to various promotions and promoters. And I was just like, the worst they could say is no, right? Or
Hmm.
the worst they could say is like not right now. And I knew I wasn't gonna get into wrestling anytime soon. So I just shot my shot, just reached out to a whole bunch of people like, hey, when I come back, I'm interested in coming here, there, here, and just throwing my name out there in case they're interested as well.
When you decide to step back in, first of all, I appreciate you listening to your body, regardless of what a doctor tells you or doesn't tell you. If you're fucking hurting, man, you're
Yeah.
hurting. You need
The
to.
doctors told me nothing was wrong, but I knew something was wrong.
Well, again, you could have chose to not listen to your body, or you could have not, or you could have chosen to listen to doctors. And I'm glad that you did listen to your body because I say that because now versus then, and that's how I have to look at this. We didn't, and I say this for somebody who was there. We didn't really take really good care of ourselves, and in the late '90s and into the early 2000s. And as time has progressed and guys have started taking care of themselves, especially over the last 10 to 15 years, longevity in the industry is exceeded and it expands. And that's why I say, thank you for listening to yourself because you don't want to cut any more time off than you have to. So
Right.
I say that to say when you get that itch to come back and you've already been networking, you're setting some stuff up. What did it look like when you decided to pull that trigger and lace them back up?
Um, so far up until now, I think it's been great. I just been grinding. I just been continually just reaching out, just showing up to places, helping out, just showing face and just throwing my name out there. And just wait until the opportunities come my way, and then when they do, I go. It's just go time after that.
Where are you looking to get into? What are some of those companies that you've reached out to? Maybe, whether you've heard back from them or you haven't heard back from them. I may know some people up that way or out that way, regardless, and we'd be more than happy to throw some names out there, or throw some people your way, or vice versa.
Some top independent promotions I want to work at right now. Of course, the default answer GCW is up there. I want to work at Deadlock Pro. I want to work at ACW in New York. Um, yeah, that's really it. Those are really the main goals right now as top independent promotions.
Well, on the backside of this now with 2026, man, it's really, we're just getting started, right? They're 3 months in.
Right.
There's a lot of time and there's a lot of things that are happening out there on the independent scene. And like currently, right now, what are some of the things that you're working on, and where are some of the places that if we want to catch you, like where can our audience catch you at?
You said what am I working on currently right
Yeah,
now?
yeah, yeah. Well, like, give me some places that where you're at now, or where you're currently being booked at.
Ooh, places I'm currently being booked at. Right now you can catch. Well, my home right now is C3W in DC. But other than that, I just branch out everywhere. I'm everywhere. Wherever they want me, I'm there.
So you're up in the DC area?
Yeah, I'm in Maryland. Yeah.
You're in Maryland? Okay, cool. See, that's good to know. I didn't know exactly where you were stationed at and where you were centered at. We've got a lot. We've got some really good connections up that way, and I'm actually talking to a place in New England, I think. No, Pennsylvania, to possibly bring a collab show later this year. AXW is the company. I think it's in Pennsylvania. American
Oh,
Excellence
AXW.
Wrestling.
Yeah, I've heard of them.
Yeah, we've done some good stuff with them in the past, and they're I think they're a pretty reputable place, and we've got some friends of ours that are definitely attached to them. I think that wrestling is can be the most gratifying place in the world if we allow it to be, and ultimately, like our platform, why it exists, is to connect people. It's not for
Right.
us. I think that's one piece of why we've been so successful. Is I always say people can see through fake, and that includes intentions, and that includes platforms, and all things that come with that. Uh, and to be able to extend that olive branch, if you will, is the most gratifying feeling we could ever have. And I'm gonna see what we can do with AXW, and see if we can open that door for you, because I think that would be kind of cool to see on the
I've
other.
had a few conversations with them.
Have you?
I'm familiar with
Have they
them.
been? Are they
Yeah.
positive?
I'm gonna have to go back and check. I'm not sure, but I'd hope so. I
I
think so.
I would hope they're positive conversations. That made me feel bad if they're not. Um, what are some things out
It's
there?
just, it's just
Go ahead.
it's just one of those like not right now moments. So
Well, I
I guess they're
understand that.
just booked up right now.
Well, that's good. That's I understand that too. But that's the beautiful thing too, is that there's so many places that are out there, and so many people that we can connect people to, that it's more than just one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah, there's
ultimately,
nothing wrong with that. It's just just right place, wrong time.
right. Did you say that you were going to be down this way for our April show? Isn't it that's
Um,
I forget which show that
yeah,
you were asking about. Um, so you're going to be in.
yeah, because you guys are in Florida. You guys are
Yeah,
in Florida, right?
yeah. We run out of Orlando when we're in Florida.
Yeah, because I'm supposed to be in Florida a lot this year. I'm getting pretty booked up down there. So
You need to let me know off the air on where you're going to be, and if you're looking down this way, like we can open some doors for you here too, outside of just what I'm doing. Like we're connected to a couple of different places here, and if you're going to be down this way, like it would be something that would be easy for me to say. Like if I know you're coming, like the first weekend or the second weekend of whatever month, what I could do is easily just say, hey,
right.
reach out to my people and say, this is what's up. This is what's going on. Let me connect you guys, and if you want to hook up and do some business, you guys make that happen. And then if it happens, brother, I'll come and support you. That's we make trips, man, and if we can hook in up there where you're at, in your base, if we can work something out up there, brother, we catch flights. We come to shows. We bring shows to people too, and we bring some of our friends along with it, along with us. And it's just that's the beautiful thing about what we're doing and how we're making things happen. Um, for you, with 2026, and you're trying to get out there, you're wanting to do a lot of different things. You're wanting to get your name out there all over. Who are some people that are out
Right.
there that are on your radar that you would be interested in getting in the ring with?
Oof. Um. Uh, this people might find this funny. There's might be a little funny to some people, but one of the guys I actually want to wrestle this year is Tommy Invincible.
I love that guy, dude. Are you kidding
Dude,
me?
I'm telling you.
Are this guy is over like fucking Rover, and how can you not like this guy? You know what I mean? What draws you into Tommy Invincible? I gotta know.
Dude, he's just like what I like about him, like besides his character and how over he is and all that stuff. Um, I like that he's well aware that he's so smart with his platform. Like him, like Richard Holiday.
Richard Holiday is an associate of ours. Yes, I'm very familiar, Mr. Holiday. He's been in your seat on an occasion.
Yeah, those guys are just so smart. And they use their platform very well.
What I see when every time I hear somebody mention Invincible, and it doesn't happen often, I mark the fuck out, dude, because some people love him, some people hate him. Here's what he does, and here's what he does well.
And another reason why I like him is because that guy, he gives it his all. Well, whether people, like you said, whether people like him, he gives it 100%.
You went into cell hell on me for a second. You're gonna have to repeat yourself.
I was saying, like just like you said, like whether people like him or hate him, he just gives it 100% all the time.
Well, he'd be the first one to tell you whether there's two people in the crowd or there's hundreds of people in the crowd. He goes out there and does his thing, and I love the fact that you mentioned his name. Who else is out there that's on your radar?
Dude, to be quite honest, these are like the two like top indie guys that I'm just constantly watching.
Holiday's the other one.
Yeah,
Best signature move in the game. The best signature move. I'm a big fan of both those cats, man. I think they're fantastic, and that they're collectively telling a story. This is where it's again a piece of what I love about professional wrestling is essentially now.
and
go ahead.
To go back to what you were saying as to people I want to work with, I feel like I'm the type of person to not have like names set in my mind because I feel like I'm always ready for like whatever opportunity comes my way. So if a big opportunity comes my way, whether it's in front of 50 people or like 1,000 people, whatever, I'm always ready. So I don't really have names set in mind on who I want to work with and stuff like that. So
No, I get it 100%. That is the softball question of all softball questions that everybody gets asked at least once or twice. The only reason I like to ask it is because we do cast that wide net, and if we can make things happen, man, I make them happen. I don't really ask a whole lot of questions. I just would rather do, because I'm a firm believer that if we and that's how our platform's always been. So we don't stray away from what we know that we can accomplish. And if we haven't been able to do it or get people booked before, then we wouldn't ask that question. But regardless, whether you do or you don't, and some guys are the same way. They're like, I don't have any. I want to get in the ring with everybody. Anybody and everybody that will push me to do something different or push me to raise my game or whatever. Like those are like, to me, some people look at that as a evading a question, but to be fair, it's not, because those are the guys that are out here to work and work any style and work anybody because you can find an education in every match that you're involved in my opinion.
Right. I agree.
What kind of fun stuff do you have coming up? What kind of stuff's on the radar? What kind of bookings do you got?
Fun stuff. I have some stuff in the works right now for WrestleMania weekend in Vegas.
Fantastic.
I just got announced. Yeah, I just got announced for Wrestle It in Vegas. So
Okay. So is this your obviously it's not is this your first Mania weekend?
this is my first Mania weekend as a worker. Yeah.
What it's so I got to ask you this because it was never a big thing like this went back in my day, so I never got to experience it or even be attached to anything that big or even remotely close. But for it to be your first Mania weekend as a worker, you've got the one booking announced, or are there more coming?
There should be more coming.
Okay. I like it. See, I don't want to like ask what's coming or how it's coming or any of that. I'm just kind of curious with it being your first Mania weekend out there and you're already getting so you're getting several bookings. I mean, if you weren't excited before about going out there, you gotta be now more than ever. And then
Right.
what's so cool about this is for someone like you who is definitely not afraid to get out there and go and work and help and do whatever to try and land a spot on a show. Buddy, just about every prominent major company on the independent scene is in Las Vegas. You talk about networking opportunity, this is a big one. And I know that you've got to be preparing yourself for it.
Yeah. I've
That
been thinking about it. Like I've been thinking about it every day. I've just been. That's all I've been thinking about. Really, is just the networking part. Like there's just so many connections to be made, or that could be made during that weekend because everyone's in town.
they absolutely
Quite
are.
literally, everyone is in town.
They are, and we'll chat a little bit when we get off the air. We've got several friends that'll be out in Las Vegas that I will try and hook you up with. So the I can never guarantee anything, but can always say, hey, if you guys can cross paths, get an introduction in. We'll talk when we go off the air about that. I know you're
Right.
going to Mania weekend, brother. Congratulations on that. Number one, because I think that's a big
Thank
deal.
you.
And then getting some bookings out there on your first shot is something that's totally, another big step in the right direction. Because again, like I said, you just said it, everybody's going to be converging out there. So everybody's going to be looking for work. You have to get as many as you can get, and you're out there doing it. And that is something that is different than some people who would rather just talk about going out to do something like this. You were doing it. I'm proud of you for that. If that means anything to you, I am very proud that you're taking that step and going to make something happen.
Thank you, man. Thank you. It means a lot.
So I got another question for you. And reality is this is kind of like how our platform continues to evolve and it continues to grow and it just does its thing and it does it in such a very beautiful, authentic way. And now that you're back in the game and you're doing a lot of traveling, so you're getting in the ring with a lot of different people. So I'm really curious to pick your brain on this one. Who are some people out there that I should be watching?
Ooh, people out there you should be watching. I have, yeah, I have three great friends, of course, in wrestling. One of them is my buddy. He was actually in my camp at Nightmare Factory, Xavier Young.
Okay.
I feel like me and him relate a lot because he's like in the same boat as me, but he has way more years ahead of me. I think he's been in here for like 7 or 10 years. But yeah, he's just like me. He's just waiting for the opportunities to come his way. He's just the type of guy to always be ready. And then the other two are a tag team. They're gonna love me for this because I'm putting them over. They're a tag team called Sexy and Blessed. They're out here in Maryland. But yeah, those guys, again, same boat. They're just waiting for the opportunities to come their way. They're just working their ass off.
Well, who comprises the team of Sexy and Blessed?
Their names are Chulo, Montana, and Waukese.
That's what I need. Is that there we go. I can definitely look those guys up and give them follows if we're not already following them, brother. Because that's how we grow, man. We circle around it. I'm a tag team guy. I love tag team wrestling. I think tag team wrestling is a lost art. And if I can come across a hidden gem tag team, I jump all over it because it just takes me back to when I broke in. I started in as a tag guy and then worked my way to a singles guy and then just never looked back. And it was
Right.
there's so much fun with tag team wrestling. Do you have a preference? Do you prefer singles or have you worked tags before?
I've actually haven't worked much tags. I've either always been in singles or like fatal four ways, but yeah, I prefer singles. Singles is my go-to.
Okay. All right. Well, I got a lot here, man. This is I always say when we have our guests that come in, these first conversations are really just surface scratchers, to be fair. It's really just so I can come in and you can come in and I can talk to you, you can talk to me, and we can introduce you to our audience and just see kind of what happens from here. And to be fair, like we're gonna be in touch. We're gonna see what we can do to help you out and get you in the direction that you want to get to. Because I think that you're serious about what you're trying to do. And I'm a firm believer that if we as the older generation do not invest in our younger generation, because you guys are going to be the ones out here for the next several decades that are going to be entertaining
Right.
us, then why the fuck are we here? You know what I mean? Like that's as real as it can get. Is there anything that you want to plug? Is there anything that you want to talk about yourself? Is there anything out there that you want to throw out into the universe? The floor is yours, man.
Um, I just want to say, like, for your audience, your followers who don't know me, just follow me on social media. That's where I try to be on my A game with every day, just constantly posting. Back to what we were saying, just constantly throwing my name out there, just on my A game. But my social on Instagram is Dono Hefner underscore. And then every other social after that is just Dono Hefner. That's where I usually announce where I'll be at, where I'll be wrestling, and all that good stuff. So,
The easiest way, guys, that you can show your support is legitimately like, sharing, and subscribing where you can. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything 99% of the time. And as Mr.
I I
Go ahead.
always I always say that as well.
Oh yeah, man. It's because it's true.
That's
It's true. Go ahead.
I mean, so supporting is literally free.
It
All you got to
doesn't.
do is, you know, like, comment, share, repost. We're good.
That's all you have to do. And to be fair, man, anytime
If I could get if I could get all the engagement I possibly could, that's all I could ever ask for.
well, that's kind of why we're here. We're going to try and do what we can do to move that needle and into in any form or fashion, like whether it is connecting you with somebody to get you a booking somewhere, whether it's getting you on one of our live events, whether it's connecting you to some companies in Florida since you're doing some stuff down here. Like there's different things that we can do, and this is why I say like collaboration. It can work if you hook in with the right people who have the right mindset and legitimately are here for you. I
Right.
tell people all the time, this goes away tomorrow. Am I going to be upset? No, because I didn't expect for it to pick up to begin with. So the fact that we're, started at 0 2 years ago and where we're at now, this is all just bonus. So it's now
Right.
about how do we turn this around? How do we take this and put it where it belongs? This is exactly how we do it. And I'll tell you, when you do get on a live event with us, and you will, it's not a matter of if, it is a matter of when. I book my live events strategically. I have people who
Mhm.
come. If I book out of town guys, I usually have an owner of a company from a different state. I'll usually have a booker from another company from a different state, and I
Right.
have other people who I put you in a room with, and I the whole goal of the live events put you in rooms with people that you can network with, that you can when you show your stuff when you're in the ring, they may call you and use you. It's already happened. When we go to Southern California, one of my guys is working 3 shows. we were going out for 1. He's working 3.
Oh man,
So this is why I
that's
say
good.
what we're doing is working, and it is definitely going to pick up. And I look forward to working further with you in the future, because I do think that there's some stuff that we can do. There's some ways that we can help you, and at the end of the day, we don't ask for a fucking thing. But again, it's not
Right.
why we're here. We're definitely here to build those bridges, man. And I know that we've got some things that we can discuss for sure. I've had a blast just sitting down with you and just kind of picking your brain a little bit, and definitely hope
Yeah,
that
we had a good chat.
hopefully that you come back, man. That's a piece of the game with the podcasting side of the equation, is that as
Hmm.
our audience grows, man, these relationships. I always say, man, small term gains don't do anything for me. I'm here for the long term relationship. I don't do anything small term or short scale, because that's not beneficial to me. It's not beneficial to you. It does a disservice to you, actually, more than it does anything else. And that's just not why we're here. It's been a blast, brother.
Right.
Is there anything else you want to say to the peeps before we get ready to sign off?
No, that should be it. But if you guys didn't know me before, now you do.
Absolutely, guys. This has been an absolute blast. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Time, and again tomorrow afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, with 2 different programs. We've got a watch party tomorrow morning. We've got a Brit Spotlight tomorrow afternoon. Sundays, Wrestling Request Live. We've got a bunch of stuff happening next week. Keep your eyes locked right here. If you're not following us at CCB Podcasting, why not? We are all over the place. We'll be in Southern California, Millennium Pro, Friday night. I know you fans in Chatsworth. You'll see us there. Come support us on Saturday the 28th. We'll head down to San Diego on Sunday to support Primal Pro Wrestling and our friends there before coming back to Orlando for Chapter 4. That is, again, going to be on April the 25th. For my guest tonight, Mr. Dono Hefner, I am Chris Page, and we will see you next time.